Hi, welcome back. I'm Adam Rosen. So on this video, I actually want to talk to you, not for very long, but I just want to bring up the idea and the topic of something called forest bathing. So forest bathing is actually a Japanese term, I'm going to hopefully not butcher this, but it's pronounced Shinrin-Yoku, which basically translates to forest and bathe. And it's an idea of getting outside. So I think right now, more than ever, is an important time for people to get outside because there's not many things that we can do right now. You know, we're limited with where we can go and who we can see and where we can travel to. But at the same time, we've had this heightened sense of anxiety, more levels of depression, people's blood pressure is rising, people aren't exercising. So more than ever, I think this idea of forest bathing is important. Now, me personally, before I ever even really heard of this term, I have personally always enjoyed my time in the outdoors. You know, some of my best memories, even when I was younger, was being outside and being rock climbing and hiking and rafting. And I've had some of those same experiences now with my children. I think one of the best experiences that they remember of things that we've done is a week-long river rafting trip that we did down the Salmon River. And it was away from stuff, so they had time just to sit, just to be outside. So when we talk about forest bathing, just understand, I'm not talking about you going on a long, strenuous hike. The idea is not to go out and work up a sweat, although for some people, just being outside and doing those things in the outdoors, which is physically active, is enjoyable for them. But when we talk about forest bathing, we're talking about more involving yourself in the environment and feeling it with all of your senses. So we talk about listening with your ears. I mean, even just this morning when I took the dog for a walk, you know, I just paid attention to all the birds. It was just one of these mornings where the birds were super active, and I was just aware of all of the birds chirping in all different directions. So listening to what is around you. You may be near a river or near a waterfall, and you can hear the water moving. Maybe you don't have access to a forest, but maybe you're near the ocean. So walking towards the beach, you hear the oceans and the wave crashings, but listen to the sounds of nature around you. And then also look. You know, so many times I see people out there with their hands, you know, and faces buried into their phones, looking at something. But look around, and that's where the idea of forest bathing, you don't necessarily have to be moving. You may get somewhere, stop, and stand, and look around, or sit and look around, and really, you know, look at the trees and the bark and the leaves, maybe the way that the light's coming through. If there's, you know, moisture in the air, you might look at animals scurrying across the ground, but really involve yourself in what you're seeing around you. And then smell. You know, one of the things that I enjoy the most is certain areas. There's smells that you'll only notice in certain areas. So like the Pacific Northwest has a very unique smell to it. You know, when I go up to alpine settings, there's that smell of pine. Now, even sometimes, you know, rain. There's actually a word for that. So when you talk about I smell rain, so it's called what's called petrichor. There's not really a word for snow, but a lot of people, even me, I've always thought, well, you know, it smells like snow, and it's actually the lack of smell. So with that cold air and the moisture, it may actually change some of the things that you would associate with smells. But a lot of people in certain environments, in the outdoors, you have those smells, and you can associate those with certain things. So you feel that. And then they talk about mouth. So it's not that you necessarily taste, you know, the outdoors necessarily. And if you are, you know, make sure that you're 100% aware of, like, if there's a berry, is it edible, not poisonous? But more the idea of just fresh breath. You know, we're outside, we're away from smog, away from smoke, away from pollution. And if you're outside, you can taste that fresh breath and then feel it. You know, sometimes feeling leaves, feeling bark. If there's water, putting your hands, even your feet, taking the shoes and socks off and putting your feet in the water, even just in the dirt. Maybe it's sand. You know, but really kind of immersing all of your senses in those things that are around you. And it has been proven that all of that stuff is healthy for you. It is helpful for you. It actually can lower your blood pressure, and it can improve your immunity. So by being out there, sometimes it's the smells and these other things in the environment that can change these things positively. And even though you may spend a short time there and then come back to reality or come back to the real world or your house or work or what have you, you may have those lasting benefits by doing this on a regular basis. So if you're interested, there's a great book by Dr. Qing Li. It's called Forest Bathing, How Trees Can Help You Find Health and Happiness. And I'll put a link in the show notes. And this topic has become a lot more talked about more recently. There was even just the other day another similar kind of idea and book by a guy named Oliver Delory. His book is called Connect with Nature the Norwegian Way, because a lot of people have heard of this this Danish term called hygge, which is more like the coziness and being inside, more of the winter kind of things. But this, and I wrote this down because, again, hopefully I don't butcher this, friluftsliv, which is basically the Norwegian word for open air living. So it's actually getting outside and being outside and doing things outside. But when you talk about the Japanese form of this forest bathing, it's just being out there and immersing yourself in nature to enjoy it and to improve your health and lower your blood pressure and lower your stress and improve your immunity. So, I tell people, get out there, walk and walk slowly, and occasionally stop, look around, or sit, look around, listen, smell, look, feel, be involved with all of your senses and really get some feeling near you where you can get out there and experience all these experiences. And once you do that, bring other people with you. They'll benefit from this also. The really important thing is, even though this is right here on social media, is when you do this, you need to distance yourself from social media. Turn off the phone. Don't take pictures of everything. Seeing it is not seeing it through your phone. Listening it is not videotaping it. But turning that off. You may want to carry your phone for safety's sake, depending on where you're going. But turn it off and be away from the distraction of these electronic devices and immerse all of your senses in the nature that's around you. It will help you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. What I've done is left you some pictures just to show you some of the places that I've been, things that for me bring back great memories and experiences that at the time, really put me at ease and made me feel more comfortable. So some of the places that I'd like to travel, these are things that I want to share with you that hopefully they act as a stimulus for you to just get outside. You don't have to go far. Find some park nearby or some trail, some nature environment where you can experience all of these things and have firsthand experience of forest bathing. Until next time, stay safe. I'm Adam Rosen.